Okay.
Okay. Ready to start?
Uh,
Bet.
born ready.
Um.
Excellent.
Yes.
Right. I posted right before I jumped on. I posted in the main chat an image of the map that we've been looking at. Also, I want to kind of do like a longer recap,
Yeah.
partly for myself, and
Might be helpful.
it's been a very long time. So I'm going to go all the way back to Tribor, which was the town where guys left Vandalin, headed to Tribor. They were having that festival, and of course, the festival was interrupted by fire giants.
Oh, bloody hell.
Bless you.
Bless you.
Thank
Sorry. My first 7-year-old interruption.
Mhm.
Give me just a moment.
I started watching the last recap you posted, Damien, on like 1.5 times speed. Like an hour before the session started, and I was like, I wonder how much of this I can get through.
That's
Because
awesome.
I don't remember like at all what we were doing.
Yeah.
We just got a hippogriffs, I think.
Well, yeah, we had
did.
ridden them to Felbar, I thought.
Mm.
I did not have the buffering capacity to watch the recap.
Yeah.
The only real thing you missed is Sangar was wondering if he could fit it inside a gnome. Or was it a halfling? I can't remember.
Fit what?
Orcish Fury
That's
strikes
Orcish
again.
Fury, okay.
I wonder. I wonder what it could have been. It may have been his Orcish Fury.
Mm.
You guys are my favorite assholes.
Okay, I'm back.
Yay.
Okay, so Tribor Festival attacked by fire giants. You guys are able to fight them off. In Tribor, you were given several sort of quest type things that you could do. And in terms of the main quest, Theoris basically said, Theoris Erlenthar, who's handler and giving you lots of these missions, Theoris said, hang on, we're doing, we're looking into it. Take the little, keep yourselves busy, but we're looking at it. So, given several little quests. So, on we go. First, go to Yarter. And it's the biggest city, very close to where you were. Didn't spend much time in Yarder. It's a big thieves guild place, very sort of economic and a little bit shifty. From there, we went to Falling Horns, where we fought some trolls and a fire giant outside of an inn, outside of the inn you were staying. We went to Noanar's Hold, which you were delivering some goods for someone from Tribor, and that was where we had the sort of Scooby-Doo, do the whites run the town episode. From there, we went to Everland. Now, the Lord Protector of Tribor, Ratha Shendril, basically said, go to Everland, be this one-eyed orc at this inn, and there'll be a gift for you. That gift turned out to be a series of sort of teleportations going to different places and sort of going to the corners of Faerun. And basically they said that as long as you're on the good side of the Harpers, goes whenever you wanted. Then went to Silvery Moon, wizardy sort of city, lots of elves there. That was where you guys went to the home of the Margasters, who were the sort of Asmodeus worshipping evil people. And that was where you fought. You fought 2 Cambions, devils. You fought a mage, and got some magical, cool stuff. From there, we went to Zymorvan Hall. That was where we met Harthos Zymorvan, who's sort of the lord. We went there looking for a giant slayer greatsword. Out Harthos's son, Harthel, stolen the sword and run off with his Garter Thieves Guild wife.
Like an
It is
asshole.
theorized that he and his wife are in Yarder. At least that's where the trail takes you. Then, continuing on our way towards Citadel Felbar, we went to a place called Hawk's Nest, sort of a headquartersy place for the Order of the Gauntlet. You met Lord Cavalos, went and killed some more fire giants who stole, basically they stole the wages of. And it is there that you were gifted 3 hippogriffs. They are now yours. Hawk's Nest is the current location of your horse mounts, as you next location on hippogriffs. That location, which is where we're going to pick up tonight, is Citadel Felbar, Dwarven City. You went there again to sort of get a gift, as you got a recommendation letter from a dwarven blacksmith named Gelrin Fohammer, who, despite living in Tribor, is the quote official royal armorer of Citadel Felbar. There you met King Morin in my own writing. Tith something. Oh well. The gift you got 2 golden lion figurines that turn into actual lions, called figurines of wondrous power. They also offered that basically we're telling them about a location called, you found a note on one of the fire giants at Hawk's Nest talking about a place called Iron Slag. Since that Iron Slag is a location that had an ancient dwarven forge, which should be relatively impossible by a normal means. It seems as though the fire giants at least have some goal, if not some method of relighting that.
You're kind of
What?
cutting out a little bit. It's nearly impossible to do what at Iron Slag?
It should not be possible to light that forge with
Mm.
normal means, like normal fire, etc. The fire giants seem to have either figured out something or think they've figured out a way to light it. That means trouble for Citadel Felbar, and the Dwarf King asked you to go find Iron Slag, gave you an approximate location, that if you take care of this, I will build you a fortified tower fortress, and I will give you dwarves to run it for you. Then a messenger burst through the door. It's a letter from Theoris. 2 bits of news. Number 1, you found the 3rd conch shell, which is what
We were looking
the
for.
was going to do. And that shell is also, it's the fire giant's shell. It's also a dud. You found hill giants, frost giants, fire giants, all duds so far. It also, in that letter, said that there have been notices put up in and around the town of Beliard, down in the Desserin Valley, saying there is a hill giant that has been raiding, taking livestock to eat, generally making a nuisance. So, I want to end this recap by just giving you the loose threads, sort of strings that may lead to a quest that we have right now. And I thought of 4 of them. First, not mentioned yet, the Weevil. The Weevil, a criminal
Yeah.
supposedly seen at a place called Xantharl's Keep. It's a little bit far away from where you guys are now, but he is supposedly a wanted dwarf in Mirabar, and there's a 5,000 gold bounty on him. So there's that. The sword, Giant Slayer sword. That path leads back to Yarder. It's kind of back towards the direction. If you were going to return to Tribor, that would be the way you could go. There's Iron Slag, the fire giants trying to light this forge. Fourth, hill giant outside Belyard. Of those, the Weevil and Iron Slag are out of the way-ish and would be sort of separate trips only to do those things. If you were going to head to Belyard to check out the hill giant, you would go through Yarder anyway. Do that.
I got a question for
Where we
you
are,
because
I believe.
I just read
Ask away, man.
a thing.
Ask away.
So I don't have a specific list, and I don't need like a whole ass list of it, but I have a list of teleporter locations for that big system we're a part of now. So we're heading back towards Tribor and then Belyard, right? Or are we going through Calling Horns and going straight down?
So I thought that you would. Let me look at this map a little closer, Mike. So I expected that. Oh, I see exactly what you mean. So
If we have something to do in Yarder, it makes more sense to go that way, anyways, I guess.
and also, it's probably just as fast. You notice that just south of Yarder, there's a river.
Mm-hmm.
That river takes you straight to Stonebridge, which is half a day from Belyard.
Great.
So there's that way you could go
Mhm.
also.
So
But I do see what you're talking about. You could start at Calling Horns and take Gundar's Pass? Gundon? Something like that. That
the
little pass through the Desserin Hills and get to Belyard that way.
the list that I have is Mirabar, Neverwinter, Waterdeep, Loudwater, Yarter, and Everland. That's 6.
So
Exactly right.
we would actually save a little bit of time. Even just it started in where did we get it in Silvery Moon, right?
Everland, wasn't it?
Everland.
Sorry.
Okay.
Everland is where the circles were. Yes.
Okay. So yeah, we go down to Everland, and then we can literally just teleport to Yarder.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. So then, so is Everland our closest circle to Iron Slag? Is that right?
The directions you were given to Iron Slag from Citadel Felbar is that the thing about Iron Slag is there's not really a road that goes there. You kind of have to go around the Raven Mountain and then head north.
Mm.
And you can see Iron Slag is on the map. So
Okay.
that
And
would
then-
be a significant-ish journey to go in that direction.
All right. And then where is the Weevil?
Weevil,
Between Long Saddle and Mirabar.
Yeah. Okay. And
if you
were there?
if you can find Zymorvan Hall, head straight west. Anthral's Keep is right there along the long road.
And then do we have any locations that are closer to that, or is Yarder pretty much the closest one? I guess I don't know. Is Neverwinter closer? I don't know. Maybe not.
To Xantharl's Keep,
Yeah.
Mirabar is one of the locations that would be the place to teleport into.
Oh, we did have
That's-
Mirabar. Okay.
If that's your move, you definitely teleport right into Mirabar. Yes.
Okay. Well, then it's not that out of the way. Now that we have
Yeah, I
teleporting.
suppose with teleporting, lots of things are more
Yeah.
doable.
Belyard.
I was gonna say yeah. He's gonna want to go to Belyard.
That was,
what?
I think, the last thing that was said in the recap was, "Guess we're
Uh,
going to Belyard."
Yeah.
and then and then oh, I'm blanking on his name. And Elijah, of course, says, "I hate that place."
Yeah.
That was it. That's
Mm.
where he ended.
The note I have
In
written.
the recap, I forgot to say, "Hey, you met Elijah." Oh, that's in the recap.
That's true, yeah. I have written down from my old book. Go to Iron Slag. Number of giants: dozen? Question mark. Equipped? Question mark. Fortified tower anywhere on the silver home away from home with Falbar dwarves to man it. So we do know that if we do go to Iron Slag, we're going to be slagging it out with a bunch of giants. A lot of them.
Mm.
Plus probably hell puppies.
Iron Slag seems the most out of the way. That seems like the most inconvenient one to do. So I think that's definitely off the list altogether for now.
I also
That's
feel
gonna-
like that one's going to be a big challenge at where we're currently sitting.
Yeah. Possibly. The Weevil is basically like we don't need to do. We can do that anytime. And now that I know that there's a sigil close to Mirabar, that's like not that far, to be honest. So that's really easy to just like we have a free day. Let's pop in there and do that.
Who wants to make 5,000 gold?
Yeah. Belyard's probably the most important. Are we gonna? So we're going to teleport to Yarder. Are we gonna figure out what's going on there and get this sword first? Is that gonna be the goal?
If we can. I know I
Okay.
pushed very heavy for it, but
Well, you're pushing heavy for both of the last two options. Is it more important to Sengar to get this sword so you can help defend better, or is it more important for him to just go straight to Belyard as fast as possible? What was the issue at Belyard? We said there's hill giants approaching or attacking, or
Hill giants have been like raiding farms
oh,
and
okay,
stealing livestock. Yep.
okay.
it's been so long since I've been in his shoes, I genuinely don't know which he would prefer, what he would deem the most important. Obviously, growing up with the farmers, the livestock, big issue. With hill giants being so close, it's only a matter of time before people start getting killed by trying to defend themselves from the stealing of the livestock. But at the same time, being a mercenary and warrior and all that stuff, having a sword that kills giants to fight this crazy onslaught of giants we've been fighting lately is also high up on his agenda. So I can't say I feel super strong either way. I do know the sword would definitely better our chances of taking out Iron Slag.
Ludwig would have suggested that he agrees that helping people is obviously the way to go, and that's very important to him too. But he thinks the best way that we can help people is to defend them, and he thinks probably especially with some of our close encounters where giants have nearly like insta killed people on our team, it's likely a good idea if we get something to give us a better edge against them. So maybe we give it like a day to go try and find it. What does everyone else think?
This is why you're the brains, Ludwig.
I agree. Go to Yarder, right, and try and figure out if we can find the sword so that we're best equipped when we make it down to the giants.
And Gwent thinks we should do this quickly because the idea of a bunch of giants like arming themselves is probably not a good thing.
I agree.
One thing that King Morin did say about the giants, and Theoris has said this at times too. Good thing about opposing giants is they're very deliberate. They do things and make decisions very slowly.
Mm-hmm.
So that's at least something.
Okay, so we have the
Think
sense
about.
that we don't necessarily need to rush as much.
That was what you were told. Like, you generally have more time with giants than if orcs or cultists were doing this.
And so this giant slayer's sword, it was the owner of Morven Hall's son, right? Is that correct?
Right.
Who
Yep.
took off with a wife that the head of that keep didn't like or something, right?
Yes, the wife, according to Lord Harthos, the wife is a member of the Thieves Guild in Yarder.
Ah.
Hence that being the place to go to follow the trail.
Mm-hmm.
I do remember, I can't remember the exact details of what was said, but I do remember there being kind of like a heartfelt conversation between the party and the Lord about how he still loves his son. He understands why his son did it.
Yeah, he regretted the way it ended.
Yeah.
Mm.
And if we get the sword, we can keep it. He just wants his son back.
Cool. I'd say family drama is where we start, and then move on from there.
I think that's
Get
a
to saving.
fantastic place to start. Feels like I've been asleep for like a month and a half.
Yeah, really. So, where are we? Just like sitting in the throne room right now of Cita?
Let's assume that you have sort of said your goodbyes to
All
the
right.
dwarves, and that you're like right outside the chamber.
Sure.
You're in Citadel Felbar, in the sort of palace area, but you're not. The king and queen have said goodbye, and that's where you're having this.
So Gwen would like to go and stock up on some nice dwarvish spirits while he has the chance.
Sure. Is that would Quent want to go? Go ahead.
He's basically just looking for a bottle of whiskey or something dwarvish to kind of bring along with him.
Do you think Quent would go to like the high class whiskey bar or the dive whiskey bar?
He would go to the dive bar for sure.
Okay. So you walk. It's not very far. Sort of a few blocks. You do travel a little bit downward, sort of down a few staircases, so you're getting deeper. As you go down, it gets more and more and more dwarvish, shall we say? And the neighborhoods and the dwarves around you sort of. It's almost like there's a tiered caste system with the palace at the top, and as you go down, like each group is a little rougher than the last. You go down pretty far. You find a dive bar called the Goat, and in the Goat, you are able to purchase a bottle of whiskey that has no label on it. It's literally just a bottle, and the outside of it has that kind of dusty look that some old bottles of whiskey can have.
So Brent would overpay for this bottle probably substantially, and just kind of have a couple swigs as he makes his way back.
Yeah. The bottle only generally costs probably about 7 or 8 silver. So you can pay however
he would
much
probably
you'd
throw
like.
up like five, let's say 10 gold.
Oh,
He's
Okay.
happy to be
Okay,
home.
very good. Very good. With the 10 gold, the bartender first he realizes how much he has, and then says, "And I'd like to thank this gentleman for buying around for the whole place." And the dwarves go, "Ah!" You're a local hero.
Ludwig would
I
give
give-
him a clap.
I give my beard a nice kind of stroke as I walk out.
Nice.
Uh,
Oh. Go ahead.
3 things real quick. First, Forgot what it's like to be a poor D&D character. Second thing,
Same.
forgot what it's like to have lower HP than a level 11 wizard. Third thing, my my grand horse gladiator. I don't believe he's staying here. I believe I sent him back to Belliard.
I think I did watch the recap.
I didn't watch all of it.
Right now, I mostly watched the end. I kind of skipped the combat and got to the end.
Mm.
So, Gladiator and the rest of your mounts are in Hawksnest right now. Gladiator requested he would be happy to stay in Hawksnest if he could please have a mare to share his stall with.
Oh,
Yeah.
forgot I was getting my horse laid.
And the assumption is that was provided for him, and he would be happy to wait for you as long as you needed. As long as
forgot about that.
all of your horses are there in Hawksnest, and you sort of arranged for them to be taken care of, etc. And you flew the hippogriffs to Citadel Felvar. And the hippogriffs are sort of tied up. There are several gates as you sort of travel through. There are multiple gates to get through, and they're sort of tied up outside those gates. So they're waiting for you.
Did we name the hippogriffs?
I believe you guys named your...
I named mine for sure.
I don't remember.
I don't either.
I think we did because I vaguely remember I called mine like a relative of my character or something. His name was like Joe or something. No, not Joe. It was like Steve or like.
I feel like that's something I would have written down. Not sure.
Yeah, I don't remember.
I know I wouldn't have written it down.
I forgot to write mine down too. I do have a bunch of bullshit in my pockets though. Yeah, because somebody was doing speak with animals or something.
Probably me.
Yeah, and I think you were talking to the hippogriff I was about to ride, and I was like, I'm gonna name you Jeff or something like that. And you were like, is that really what you wanted to be named? And he was like, no, or something. You were calling him something else. I can't remember.
You're tickling something in my mind, but it's not coming to the forefront.
I feel like one of them got named Zephyr.
Oh,
that sounds right.
That sounds.
Somebody somewhere is named Zephyr. Yeah, that sounds right.
Sure, I have it written down, but I can't.
Also, just a heads up, I'm not being rude. I have my character sheet on my phone because I can't get into my D&D Beyond stuff on my computer still.
Still.
Womp 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 womp.
I have not heard back from the gentleman I've been sharing the account with.
Bummer.
Which means Saturday is going to be interesting. If I don't have it by then.
There's probably a PDF you can find on the actual book itself.
Yeah, that's what I'm kind of going to end up banking on is...
like on any flip, I think is the website.
Yeah, or that one that Stygian keeps tossing to me. I can't remember what it's called. But I'll end up either using that or something else.
All right, I'm going to stop looking for the names of your hippogriffs. Okay.
But it's so important. How are we supposed to RP with... No, it's
fine. Mine was Meliamni. I remember that.
Ooh.
Amni.
Miliamni.
Maybe I didn't write it
it's
down.
Elvish.
I feel like I would remember writing that word.
Did we each have one, or how many did we have?
We have 3.
Okay.
And it was among the 5 of you there were at that time.
Okay. I don't remember who was writing with who, but mine's name is Jeff from now on.
My name is Jeff.
It's my uncle's name.
Now I feel bad for making the joke, but I'm not going to stop.
Yeah, no, that actually is one of my great uncle's names, but I think I just did that because I wanted to seem close to Ludwig. Ludwig also has an uncle named Jeff in this universe. We'll go with. I think that was just what I came up with on the fly.
I do have to say, I do love that name choice for your character.
Thanks.
Good.
So, for the moment, Sengar, Elijah pulls you aside. Says, "It's gonna be tricky. Try to do this though." Says,
You got this.
Are you gonna do an impression?
Sengar,
Oh god.
I do not feel as though Iliard is a safe place for me. I feel as though I will stay here and wait, hearing from you, because I think Belliard would be unsafe for me.
Well, I'm sorry you feel that way, Elijah, but I do understand completely. Our paths will cross again, that can be assured.
I wish for that very much.
See you soon.
so Elijah will sort of make his way away from you for the time.
Hey, Senga, did Elijah sound a little sick to you today?
It can't. I don't understand.
Hard that accent's
He's kind of weird
accent's
in here.
sticky.
Yeah.
So, like, can he get a common cold? Is that a thing?
Or perhaps
don't
he
know.
spent too much time out in the sun today.
Maybe he ate a weird squirrel.
Maybe so. Maybe so. So, is the goal then? Are we going to pick up on usual mounts back in Hawksnest? Are we going to continue on past that with the hippogriffs?
I'm not gonna lie. I feel like I slept for like a month and a half. I know I already said that, but I can't for the life of me remember how fucking long it'll take to travel back.
The hippogriffs will go faster, right?
Hippogriffs will go because you can travel as the crow flies without worrying about roads. Hippogriffs probably get you there in half the time as the horses.
Sheesh.
So significantly fast.
Well,
way.
do you think maybe
Perhaps we
we-
could send a note ahead or something.
I
Tell
was going
them-
to go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say maybe we could leave a note there or something. I think we should have them send our horses back somehow to
Phandalin?
Phandalin. Yeah. So at least they're home. You know, maybe somebody can transport well, maybe that's not safe right now with all the gianty stuff going on all the roads. I don't want us to have to stop down and talk about it in character because we've already done a lot of like pre-game stuff, but I don't know, maybe what do you guys think? Do you guys think we should have them sent home or just have them wait for now still?
Well, I know my horse will be pissed at me. Unless we're sending the mayor with him. But I think that's a good idea.
I'm also okay leaving them where they are for the
Okay.
time being and just revisiting it when something gets resolved.
That's
They're having a
also-
good life there.
Yeah.
But at the same time, we're all, at least at this point, we're all aware of the fact that there are caravans that travel back and forth among all of these towns. It's
Mhm.
not inconceivable that we've made enough contacts to tell people the echoes would like these horses brought back to Phandalin.
Yeah, I've thought that, but again, like I said, I don't know if my character would want that happening with all the gianty stuff, you know, because like we
Mhm.
like our horses, including Sengar, who really likes his horse. He's a horse guy.
My horse is badass.
So
Just
I
wait-
think
just wait for
yeah.
the ponytail.
I think we just make it wait.
I feel like he's got like a war hawk going on here. Like
Dope.
But yeah,
We'll just
if
keep
it's good with the other three of you, I'm totally fine leaving them where they are. Although I will also say my moose has disappeared because I just didn't need it anymore.
He's roaming in a pasture somewhere on a different plane.
Yeah, exactly.
Just tactical moose drop whenever you want. Yeah.
Exactly. He's just hanging out, eating apples, and
All right. So I guess we fly straight to that place we need to go because they all sound funny. Hold on.
Everland?
Yeah, that's the one.
if that's the closest one, yes.
Are we flying over these mountains, or are they too high? Do you think?
I think hippogriffs can go as high as most mountains.
Is there anything interesting on these mountains that you know of, or that we would see, like on our
Not
way?
necessarily.
It's just pretty.
It's pretty. Sort of fly over a couple sets of mountains. See the big sort of chasm as you come over the Nether Mountains, which very old
Mm.
Netherese, so it's a very ancient mountain.
Mm-hmm.
And then sort of crest those mountains. I would say probably takes you make it in about a day and a half.
Mm.
No red dragon in the Netherese Mountains, possibly upset that we're traveling in their airspace.
As you fly through the Nether Mountains, you see only beautiful scenery.
That's
No
good.
dragons to be found
Damn.
That's good.
on this particular trip.
That's good. That's good.
So, as you approach Everland, which is not a big city, but big-ish. It's a big town, I guess you call it. A small city or a big town. Where do you want to land your hippogriffs?
Oh, I just
What are the
considered that.
A decision to be made about where to do that.
It might make sense for us to drop them outside the gate and walk them in.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea. I don't want to startle anyone. So yeah, that's probably what we're gonna do. I'm guessing.
So you land just east of the city. As you sort of approach the city gates, the city watch sort of they start to stop you, but then they're just looking at it. The hippogriffs are incredibly imposing and a very rare creature to be seen, intimidating even when walked. So for sort of adventurers, walking hippogriffs through the city is not something that is seen every day. So in general, people, as you're walking through sort of the city streets, and it's of course it's like noon, so it's like absolutely total light everywhere, lots of people around. In general, most of the people kind of shy away from you, big wide eyes as they watch you go by. The kids, of course, absolutely love it. Every kid you see is like, "Wow, look at that!" And they're looking at all of you guys too. Bit of a motley crew of folks. So it's a fun walk through the city. You feel quite safe the whole time. And you do finally approach Tower.
I was about to say, do we have like an emblem that lets us into this tower? I don't remember how it works.
You do.
I know I have an emblem. I just don't remember if it does anything or if I have to show it to somebody or what it do.
Again, rather than worry too much about remembering, we will say that Ludwig has an emblem that, when flashed at the tower, allows entry. So
We got
now
beamed
though,
up.
you do have 3 hippogriff
Mm-hmm.
to do something with.
I mean, they could come with.
I was about to say. I mean, they're hardy creatures. They,
Up-
if they throw up, it's all right.
Update people.
We're
We're gonna show up, and these hippogriffs are gonna puke and shit themselves at the same time.
If we can even get them in the door.
Yeah.
I'm literally rolling to see if you can get them through the door, and there's absolutely no way. Cannot get them through the door.
Okay.
So, I'm sorry, have we just run into this exact same issue that we ran into 5 minutes ago? What do we do with our horses?
This is
Oh,
my
what do we
support
do with our
animal.
hippogriffs?
What do you mean I can't bring him on this flight?
Wasn't there a powerful mage here?
Yes, a gnome
Yes.
mage, I believe.
Can he one at a time have them become?
Cast
Can he
reduce.
use cast reduce and large and make them small to walk them through? Let's see. Do I even have that? I don't think I have that spell. I don't on this character.
Oh, the son's name we're looking for is Horthol.
What a dork.
Horthol Morven. God,
Okay,
I write
finally-
too fast sometimes.
Finally found it. So the name of the tower is Moongleam Tower. There is an archmage in this tower, a very old archmage,
Mhm.
Crowan Valharrow. Sort of a guy who's very powerful, but also kind of semi-retired. That's been working with the
Yeah.
Harpers, and now he's just kind of posted up there. Like
his name is one of Ludwig's tattoos.
Yeah.
like he could definitely do some crazy shit. It's probably been a while.
Okay. Well, fellas, what do we do about? What do we do then? Because once we get there, we're gonna need mounts. I mean, I guess we can walk. That seems so stupid. I mean, I've been so long without having to walk. It seems so silly that I'm upset about it. But it's very convenient, surprisingly.
How intelligent are these creatures? Like, could we tell them
Gonna
to
give 'em a
meet
map?
us in Yarder?
I could have a conversation, just throwing it out there.
That's true, because we are going to spend a day there looking around at least, right?
I will also say, I mean, Ludwig, come on, you are my buddy, and if you need a shoulder to ride on, I got you, pal.
I'm gonna step off camera, but I can still hear you.
While I appreciate it, I'm going to keep my dignity intact. But thank you.
To answer your question, hippogriffs are dumb as shit.
Okay.
Damn it.
And are they
Absolutely.
even beasts?
They're monstrosities, actually.
So we wouldn't be able to talk to them anyway.
And they are dumb as a post.
Okay.
Great. Man. Maybe we should have picked up a horses. I don't know. Because do they even have a place where we can house hippogriffs? Do they require more elegant housing of some kind?
I feel like they would be assholes about it.
Damn it.
Whether it's true or not, I feel like they'd be assholes about it.
How long would the flight take from Everland to Yarder? Do we have any clue?
Yeah.
2 days, 3 days?
We need horses in every city with a portal.
Yeah, exactly.
2.5 days. 5 days by horseback. So we'll call it 2.5.
I don't know about you both, but I worry that we're going to get wherever we get, and we're going to wish we had these these flying creatures.
I think you are right on that, Jordan.
I concur.
So we fly, despite not being able to do some of the fun things that Ludwig is able to do.
Well, I wasn't the one doing it. I mean, it wasn't me. But yes, I can't
Alright.
teleport us yet. That'd be cool though. One day.
It's nice to have goals.
What is Harley coming back? Has anyone DM'd him yet?
I just sent him a text message, actually. I was
All
like,
right.
where the fuck you at, dude?
Hey, buddy.
Okay, so we're flying.
Okay.
Looks like it.
So, absolutely positively gonna hand wave this travel. So,
Thank you so
fly
much.
over the Silverwood Forest. You get a nice glimpse of the Evermores. You sort of look down at Callinghorns, which was a little tiny town, and go across the Evermore Way, and you are now approaching the fairly large city of Yarter.
In our brief time there, did we identify any place that seemed trustworthy where we could put these creatures?
Go ahead and make a perception check.
First roll coming back. Let's go. Nat 20. Go.
Right. That will be a 4.
Wrong side of the spectrum.
So, you weren't thinking hippogriff when you were there,
Nope.
so it's not something that you noticed. And you guys were only there for like a night. So
Gentlemen, we are once again suffering from success.
It does seem to be our hubris.
Yeah, that's the word. Hubris.
Oh,
He'd
shit,
give you
I
a
got it
little.
right.
That was right to me.
He'd give you a little smirk.
Guys, I think I'm getting
So-
smarter on this traveling thing.
It
Boy,
happens.
Sangar, you are so smart sometimes.
SMIT.
Thank you.
Well, so do we think that we need to stay outside? I mean, that's always an option. I do have a spell that lets us do that pretty conveniently.
I could try one thing before we go for that.
Okie dokie.
I'm just gonna turn and look around. Is there like a little old lady anywhere?
NPC generating.
So
She's rendering.
you make a perception check too.
Yay! Jordan, what have you done to me?
Well, I'm rusty.
No, it rubbed off. Perception is no, not actions, skills. Thank you. Oh God, what are these stats? Ugh. I'm kidding. So I rolled a 3 plus 4.
7. You wait a long time. You see lots of workers, a few kids, an old man or two. The old women seem not to be in this particular vicinity. So we'll say that because Yarder's a big enough city that it would have a little sprawl outside of it. Like, I don't know if you call them suburbs exactly, because they're probably not very well off. But sort of warrens, at least, that are kind of around that area.
As I'm wasting their time, can I roll an insight on any of the people walking by that seem like they're good-natured?
A guy walk by, make an insight check.
Oh God, we're gonna lose these hippogriffs.
Woo! That's 14 plus 1, 15.
15. I mean, the guy, sort of gives you a nod and a smile.
I'm gonna nod.
Seems trustworthy to me.
As near as you can tell.
I'm gonna nod back at him and start walking my menacing-looking presence of a massive half-orc towards him. Greetings, my friend.
Hello there.
Question for you. We recently came into some new mounts. They're a little odd,
Oh,
and
hey.
we're wondering what would be the most hospitable, reputable place to store them.
Oh, well, you could check out head that way a few blocks. There's a sort of well, like, I guess you'd call them caravan, an outfitter type place. Um, Lots of wagon parts, but they also have a series of stalls, and they sell mounts there. I don't have any special insight as to if a hippogriff can be in a horse stall, but they look of a size at least.
Fair enough. I'm gonna toss him a gold coin.
That's just it. Thank you, sir.
Heads or tails?
Heads.
May Timora's luck be on you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
No, thank you.
Walks off.
We have a place we can store them if we want to. Still open to camping outside. I really do enjoy roughing it.
What do you think, Jordan?
Well, at the very least, even if they can't store them, they might have some knowledge of where else we might go.
Sure, it's might as well go take a look see. Go have a talk with them.
Fucking
Head that
works for
direction,
me.
then. Question: if whenever we get into combat, are we gonna just go for it? Because normally we don't play with 3 people.
I will. If you get into combat and it is only 3 of you, there will be adjustments made on my part.
Cool. Okay. Well then.
As soon as
onward.
Jordan dies, he'll make sure to take it easy.
So you guys head up those blocks. People are still sort of it's a little rough and tumble out here, but people give you pretty wide berth. Reach this sort of it's almost like set in a little circle. And there's wagons there. That it's obvious that this whole circle is kind of owned by one company or one guy. And all the businesses are related. There's a leather shop. There's a shop that does horseshoeing. There's a blacksmith there, not making weapons, but making like axles, things like that. So you see a guy that's kind of hanging out in front, got a little piece of hay or some kind of plant, and he's just kind of like messing with it, kind of like chewing on it like a nervous habit. He's standing around, and you get the idea based on the way he's sort of just looking around that he's in charge-ish.
Does he?
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Does he react any kind of way when he sees us coming his way with hippogriffs?
Doesn't look like he's seen you yet.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
This guy seems like my kind of person. I'm gonna start heading over. How's it going there, cowboy?
Looks up. If he's surprised by the hippogriffs, it does not show on his face. Stoic kind of poker face, and he says, "Happy to see you there. What can I provide for you? Lots and lots of goods, as you can see. Be happy to let you peruse any of them at all."
Me and my friends here, Sir Dorden and Master Ludwig here, we're looking to store some hippogriffs.
Gordon waves.
Ludwig gives him a little pointer finger.
Sizes the hippogriffs up a little bit. Sort of moves his hands as though he's measuring them somehow.
Maybe a bit more
Well-
than you're used to handling or wheeling and
Well, I
dealing
can
around here.
I can definitely handle it. Issue really is, well, I've got a series of stalls here, of course, but generally having horses move in, horses move out. Long-term storage is. I'd have to work to accommodate that.
Work to accommodate. I hear ya. Well, the cowboys back in Belleyard wouldn't have a problem. What you saying it's gonna be a problem? We can look elsewhere. That's fine.
I'm definitely not saying it's impossible, but it's just gonna require a little bit of working around.
No, I understand that. I feel like I'm getting the city folk run around right now. Man of your profession, seems like you'd be excited to work with these creatures, wouldn't you?
Make a persuasion check with disadvantage.
Oh, it's already a disadvantage. Not terrible. What's my minus? I'm assuming. Disadvantage. A little worse. Persuasion. Why do I have a +2? 13 total.
Frodo looks at him, sizes him up again, and he says,
Well, I've worked with lots of beasts before. Don't know that I think these are super different and special. What sort of coin might you be offering? And what length of time are we talking about here?
How long think we're gonna be gone, boys?
Well, we're probably only going to be here, let's say, day and a half, maybe. Depends on how long a business takes, but we're actually looking for some people.
Looking for people. Well, a day and a half's not too long. Some stalls, I think, are big enough. We say 3 gold, 1 per hippogriff.
Uh,
This might sound strange, but would I get the impression that he wants to be bargained with?
make an insight check.
That
Hell
it would
yeah.
be some kind of point of pride almost?
Yeah, make an insight check.
God, I've missed playing with you guys.
22.
Oh shit. I wouldn't. Okay, so he doesn't want to be bargained with. He's happy to take your 3 gold, but he is expecting to barter. Like 3 gold is his opening offer, and he's expecting that you will come to some agreement.
I will say, knowing Sangar, he's done. Like that, he deals made as far as he's concerned. So, floor is your guys's.
Well, then let me ask this: Would Sangar have already said yes?
No, not
Oh,
necessarily.
okay. All right. I think Dorden, trying to be sneaky and probably failing, would hold up 2 fingers to try and kind of make eye contact with Sangar and Ludwig.
Sangar's gonna
Um,
look at the 2 fingers, and he's gonna think for a second. He's gonna look over at Ludwig.
Ludwig is looking off in another direction. And then he kind of feels the presence of someone staring at him, and he turns back and looks, and he's like, he throws up a peace sign at you.
I'm just gonna try and nonchalantly, but my big stature kind of gives it away slightly. I'm gonna kind of give a little head nod towards Jordan's fingers.
He'll
You're so not fucking sneaky.
he'll like slightly turn, and he'll look over, and then he'll look at the situation again a couple times and go, "Ah, I don't know. I don't know what a reasonable price for this is." And he'll say that out loud.
Two gold.
2 gold.
2 gold. 3 hippogriffs, 2 gold. 8.5, you said.
If we end up 2 days, we pay 3. Not even hesitating, horks a loogie in his hand and fucking right into it.
As he shakes your hand with huge loogie, there's just a moment, a flash across his face that he regrets the spitting. He may not do that next time.
Pleasure doing business with you, cowboy.
Jordan will pay the 2 gold.
So that's
Alright.
what, about
Ace?
2.5 copper an hour per hippogriff. I'd say that's a good deal, right?
That's
I don't
a
know.
pretty damn good deal.
Kind of snaps his fingers. Some stable boys come out and lead your hippogriff away.
Jordan will lead his in for sure.
Yeah.
Knowing that these are temperamental animals.
Careful.
Or monsters, I suppose.
So yeah, I mean, with that, technically, I never had a conversation with them either. Which is,
Yeah, I guess not.
yeah, that never happened. Which is
So,
honestly great.
So as they're leading them in, one of the 2 hippogriffs like totally rears back, kind of takes a swipe at one of them with his claws.
Am I close enough to try and dash in front of that and try and like, oh, whoa, 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 boy.
Sure.
I'll take the scratch
Go
if
ahead
I
and
have
make-
to, or
Even though it's a monstrosity, let's call it animal handling.
I will handle that monster. Hopefully.
That's what she said.
My brain has been fried all day. I've been sick for a couple of days, and I wanted to come up with something funny. I had nothing. 14. Not great.
14.
Not bad.
It's your hippogriff. He knows you. He's sort of.
I will even let him just swipe right across me and just like, really? Like, fucking seriously?
Sort of lowers his head, starts scratching at the ground like he's pouting a little bit.
Come on, you're better than that.
Are you okay?
It's sort of walked in.
Sorry.
They're gonna feed
Eventually-
you. Make sure you're clean. Just behave.
Eventually, hippogriff seems okay. Goes in the stalls. The stalls seem plenty big. There is some discussion. The stable boys are sort of in there, so there is some discussion about what these hippogriffs might like to eat. And eventually, they figure like small type, rats, squirrels, rabbits, that type of thing.
Gnomes.
And one of them
halfling,
goes off to try to hunt down some smallish meat.
goblins.
Just tell you boys to be aware. Don't touch Jeff's butt. He does not like that. It makes him uncomfortable. It's a sensitive area for him.
I don't know why, but has anybody here watched Letterkenny?
What? No.
A few times, but not a lot.
That gave me huge. Oh, you mean, did you hear Boots fucked an ostrich? Well, it was a sick ostrich, I hear.
What?
It's a Canadian show. The premise of the first couple of seasons is you
It is
got
deeply Canadian.
you got the
Gotcha.
hockey players, you got the Hicks, you got the
Mm,
what are they called? The druggies, the scummies. But anyways,
gotcha.
So it appears your hippogriffs will be fine.
does anybody touch Jeff's butt?
I stop while you're standing there. How long would you like to wait to see if this happens?
I'm sure he's fine. Wait, I walk around and I look for the uh chewing on wheat guy, gentleman who agreed to do this with us.
He's standing right back in the spot where he was before.
And then what are the names of the son and thievy wife lady that we're
Did
looking
not get
for?
the thievy wife lady's name. The son is Harthel. Harthel Zymorvin.
All right.
I don't usually do this, but I'm gonna mute myself because I'm gonna be eating while we do this too.
Okay. I think it was Heartful. Is that what he just said?
Harthel.
Harthel. Excuse me, sir. Whenever you finish chewing, would you happen to know of a Harthel Zymorvin? Somewhere in town here?
Oh, as I've ever heard that name before.
Oh, shame. I guess we don't know much about him other than the fact he must have moved here within the past. How long did you say? Did they say it was, Jordan? Do you remember how long ago? Would you say he left?
It was years.
He came
I
here.
could call it maybe 5 or 6 years.
He came here with a lady who he was marrying. I don't know her name. The person introducing this couple to us was only using 5-letter words to describe her. Um, he came here as well, maybe with some kind of sword. Anything about that?
No, it doesn't ring a bell. I think the best, if it was me, I'd go into head into the city itself, city proper, head to the downtown area, not the nice places. Find a tavern there called A Wink and a Kiss.
Mhm.
I was looking to find someone or learn just about anything about Yardo. That's where I'd go.
That's very helpful. As well, another part of this question, perhaps related, we're still deciding. This person may be connected to a thieves guild in the area. I'm not sure. We don't know a ton about them. We've not spent much time here. Is there anything you can tell us about them that maybe we should be careful about?
I'll be honest, doesn't narrow it down very much.
Ah,
Thieves Guild is nobody knows quite how many of them there are, but it's at least hundreds.
well,
They,
we were.
they sort of, as a guild, they sort of do have sort of rules and regulations they abide by, but of course they're fucking thieves too, aren't they?
Mm, we know that we're pretty sure that his wife may be part of one of these guilds. I'm not sure if that narrows anything down at all. I don't know if there's lots of lady thieves guilds or whatnot.
Oh, sure. There's about, I'd say about maybe half.
Yeah, I was gonna
Huh?
say. I thought, if I'm remembering correctly, isn't the one of the things about this place is that most of the thieves guilds are women run? Like they're all women.
I think that's right.
That's why I was
Let me
asking
see.
you.
Yeah, as soon as you said it, it popped into my head, and I was like, "Oh wait, shit."
I thought for sure there was one that was kind of like top dog.
Yeah, because
The
Whistler ran
Hands
into
of
them.
Yarder or something like that.
Yes, the Hand of Yarder, a largely female guild of thieves and assassins. Call. Good memory.
There you go. Okay. Well, I appreciate the info you do have, and I'm sure we all appreciate you taking care of friends.
Well, good. Day and a half.
Yep. We'll see you then. Be safe.
All right then. Take good care of them.
What time is it in game?
2 o'clock.
Okie
Yeah.
dokie. Well, we've still got a couple hours before it gets dark. Do you want to head down, start slumming it up, go to this little inn, tavern?
Oh, I think that sounds like a fine idea. Q, did we see like a painting of this guy, or we just know his name?
Ooh, that's a good idea.
Good question.
There's hella paintings in big castles.
Paint- I don't remember. I don't remember any paintings.
Okay.
Okay.
I don't remember any.
He wouldn't have portraits. I mean, because he was pretty excited.
They'd be out of date, I know, but
Let's say there is a portrait.
Well,
Um,
I was just gonna say he was pretty excited and happy to tell us about like his forefathers and generations before him.
Makes good sense. From the portrait, let's say that you remember that son is a like father, pretty big guy, not overweight at all, but just big, sort of barrel chested. No beard. He's clean shaven at that time, sort of dark brown hair, kind of a proud look on his face, prominent nose.
Was he a human? Was his dad a human?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
All right. So I think we're gonna start making our way towards.
a wink
I
and a
guess-
kiss.
Yep. He directed us in that direction, but I guess we're still gonna have to do some looking around there.
So walk through. As you walk through the city, it's definitely a bustling place. Tons of markets and sort of hawkers hawking wares. Can't go 30 seconds without somebody trying to sell you something in a loud voice. There's definitely people walking around, and not that you could just look around and go, "Oh, I bet that person's in the Thieves Guild." Lots of the people that you see walking seem to walk, saunter, slink, or you get thievy vibes from lots of them. Lots of them. Also, it seems to be the fashion in Yarder for women to not wear dresses, for women to wear pants instead. So that's another way you can sort of, in a way, it would be easier to if they're in the Thieves Guild, they wear pants. But it seems to be the fashion in this place that almost all the women wear pants.
Very progressive city, this one. Just mention real quick. I keep all my gold in my backpack, but I do have a gold pouch on my hip.
Okay.
There's something in it, but anytime anyone's seen Ludwig pay for something, he's gotten into his bag, not into that little gold pouch.
Very good. So you
Um,
walk through, sort of head down, and unlike Citadel Felbar, where sort of got gradually grosser as you went down, in Yarder, it's like everything's fine. You turn a corner, and and it's alleys and dark and gross, and you can almost smell this place coming. It's definitely like a right side, wrong side of the tracks, and it's like
just like
immediately
home.
once you turn down this one road, immediately it's like plummy. Some mud in the streets. Sort of the cobble roads are sort of made of a cobblestone, but they're in really bad shape. Lots of little sort of holes and broken pieces. There's very few hawkers down here, and the ones there are just sort of slumped, kind of sullen, being a little bit defeated by life.
Beggar's envy.
Um,
Knees weak, arms are heavy. 8 Mile.
Um, is
Yeah.
there are these like multi-storied places or like single-story places?
You don't see any. There's lots of them are 2-story.
Okay.
Nothing taller than that you see.
Ludwig is trying to keep a lookout for things, but he also keeps looking up a lot because he's used to walking down streets like this where people just throw their chamber pots out whenever. So he's been through this kind of deal. So he keeps looking up.
Definitely, and wise to keep to the middle as best as
Yeah.
you can.
I have advantage in dexterity saving throws if I see it coming.
So
Saving throw to avoid shit.
And
sort of
miss.
walk for 5 or 10 minutes, and then arrive at a place, and it's got sort of, interestingly enough, even though it's called a wink, on the signpost outside, which wood probably needs to be repainted a bit, there's an open eye with sort of lashes coming off of it, and then a little sort of red lip thing. Appears to be the place.
I will say, as a reminder as well, when we start getting to the scuzzier portion of town, Sangar would have reached up to his back for the hilt of his fire giant greatsword, realizing it's not there, and resting it on Hugh instead as a substitute. I do not have my greatsword, so.
I thought you picked up a replacement one whenever we fought those two fire giants to get the stuff back.
I did, but I don't think the hippogriffs can fly me with it.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
Before we go in, Dordan, if he remembers it well enough, I'm going to use my Furbolg magic to cast Disguise Self to make myself look like the sun.
Okay. Very good.
I'm going to warn the two of you ahead of time. But
3. Harley's back.
Well, at least we saved ourselves from Ludwig. I found him.
Yeah.
So, as you guys enter this tavern, it's, from what you're expecting, it's sort of clean. As clean as you could expect any place to be down here. Sort of a bartender that you can see, who strikes you as the owner of the place. Sort of got very slick back black hair, a pencil mustache that sits right above his upper lip. And there's a few open tables. Lots of tables are taken. Most of the tables seem to be, again, occupied by women. Women wearing pants, just having drinks together. It feels very much like any tavern, except it's, probably 80% of the people you see in here are women. There are a couple of open tables, and there's a little space at the bar as well.
Trying to see if he gets a reaction, Jordan will start kind of waving at people. Partially out of genuine, like, trying to be kind, and partially out of, does anybody recognize who I'm pretending to be?
Gordon,
With
make a straight charisma check.
14.
14. Most of the women just kind of stare at you. There is one that you do sort of notice, sort of turns her head sideways, almost like a dog hearing a weird noise, sort of looks at you and kind of like that, squints a little bit. And she sort of, sort of pulls herself together and sort of goes back to her life.
So What I was gonna say is, knowing we're going in there with Dordan, he's notified me, Puent, and Ludwig of this. I know Sangar's head would be kind of on a swivel, trying to keep tabs. I don't know about the rest of the boys, but would have any of us other than him caught that?
Make a perception check.
Did I say my shitty perception was +4? I do not enjoy using a phone. Ben, you have no idea how much I appreciate you. Yeah, it is +4. 23.
Oh shit! Yeah, you see it even before Dordan does. Like, you notice this woman staring at him, kind of almost before Dordan sort of turns and waves in that direction.
Do I get the vibe of someone seeing a ghost, somebody they were pretty sure was dead?
Make an insight check.
Please be just as good. Not terrible. 14.
You can't be as specific as thought he was dead. Surprised to see him, and like in a very obvious way, like not quite believing her eyes. Definitely get that sense.
Well clocked.
Ludwig is going to continue approaching past everyone. Excuse me. Sorry. Excuse me. Sorry, ma'am. And he's going to make his way up to the front counter, and he's going to look around for anyone serving drinks, but also kind of take a look at anyone sitting, trying not to like gawk or anything.
So the bartender seems to be serving drinks to the women that are at the bar. You see two waitresses who are sort of moving throughout the place, and
Hmm.
so several people who are serving drinks.
He attempts to get one of their attentions.
Which one do you want to get? One of the bartender or one of the waitresses?
The bartender.
As you get his attention, he kind of glides down to you very smoothly. It says, "Welcome to the Wink and Kiss. My name is James.
I know that looks so well.
What can I get? What can I get for you today?"
Yes, I'm actually looking for some information if you can help me.
Oh, information. That's quite interesting.
Yes,
I'm all ears.
yes, we are looking for and he would tap his forehead and he would take the quill out of his forehead, just like pull it straight out in front of everyone, just whip it out. And then
As you do that, he kind of cocks an eyebrow at you. Just one.
and then he would turn and he would I'll take this off whenever I'm done. I'm looking for this man, and he would write his name out onto the bar in front of them in like a bright yellow font, very legible, and he'd say, "I'm looking for this man. What was his name? Hawthorne,
Harthel.
Harthel,
Harthel Zymorvan.
Zymorvan." Yeah. And he'd write that out, and then a little smiley face, and then he'd say,
Leans.
"He looks like that guy," and he'd turn and he'd point back at Dordan.
Kind of so looks up at Dordan and looks at you like, "Okay,
that's not him, obviously.
obviously."
Twin brother.
So he
Yes.
kind of looks down and studies the name a little bit and says, "I'm afraid that name does not mean anything to me. Might ask one of the girls, though."
Can I get an impression that he wants money from me to tell me this?
Make an insight check.
Okay.
Come on, nat 20.
I think I don't have insight. I don't. So that's just a +1. That's close enough. That is a dirty 20, actually.
Woo! Hell yeah!
You definitely feel like this guy would be very happy to sell you secrets. You also feel like he actually genuinely doesn't know.
I draw the. So, like, if you were, I don't know if they have like a dollar symbol or like a gold symbol in this world, he would take the quill and he would draw a like symbol of coinage with a question mark next to it, and then he'd raise an eyebrow at him.
He looks down and he says, "My lad, I would like nothing better to tell you this bit of information. Just don't know.
Uh,
Try one of the girls."
It's all right. And he'd draw an X over all the stuff, and then he would wipe it away with the feather of the quill, and then put it back in his head.
He says, "Quite a trick."
I'm full of them, and he'd prestidigitation his hands to be like a bright yellow as well, and then he'd make them disappear again. Which
Again, you
lady
sort of
would
get
that
that
be?
cocked eyebrow. Like, well, ladies in here, aren't there? Oh, one of the serving girls is who I meant. That one's Margie. Yeah. This one is Olo. You could
Olo
ask
or
either of them if you
Olo?
like.
Beautiful
Olo.
names.
Sorry.
Olo.
Sorry, what was that?
Margie and Olo. O-L-O.
Olo. Okay.
Okay. All right. I'll give them an ask. Thank you.
A little nod.
Then he'll walk over to. He will walk over to Olo.
Okay.
Is she
She's
busy?
she's keeping herself busy, but as you approach her, she sort of looks at you. Good customer service. Kind of has the sort of serving tray on one hand, which is empty. She's just delivered drink to the table and says, "Hello there. What can I
Hi,
do for you?"
hi. Yes. Can I borrow that actually, real quick? He'd give
For
her a
what?
smile. Demonstrations purpose.
And rolls her eyes a little bit at you and
Thank
pretty
you.
skeptical.
He would take it and he'd hold it out, and then he'd pull the quill out of his head again, and he'd write on it, and he'd say, "I'm looking for this man," and then he'd write out his name again, the Zymorban guy whose name I'm going to forget over and over again. Again with a little smiley face, and then underline it and say, "I'm looking for this man. Looks like that guy over there," and then point to Dorton.
Kind of looks at it. No, I've never seen him. Might try with the Thieves Guild.
I was
They tend to
told there were
know
many.
most of what's going on around here. Yeah, there's a lot of them.
Okay. Well, I'm going to insight her again. Do I get the idea that she is trying not to tell me for one reason or another?
Oh, that sucker.
I'm doing it.
Where, while he's doing that, where exactly in retrospect to Major City is Zymorvan Hall again? Apologies.
Morven Hall is closest to Silver
Northwest
Moon.
of Silvermoon.
You're
And
both
no,
off.
and sort of northeast where you are now.
That was a 10.
Not sure, but you give it a try.
He would once again draw out the coinage sign and then a question mark next to it.
Sort of says, "Well, I don't know. I want to get in trouble." And smiles at you.
Well, I wouldn't want you to get in trouble. That's fine, ma'am. And he'd draw an X over it and then wipe it off.
Oh, wait! Not so fast. I'm saying tell you. I just no.
You're being coy, right? Okay, sorry. I don't do this very often. And he would reach behind her head and pull out a gold from behind her ear. Will this change your mind?
He holds it. She says, "Well,
I mean, if I lose this job, it's sort of, not sure. She looks. Her eyes are flicking between you and the coin. Her hand is still open.
Uh, I'm sorry. He would slowly hand her the gold. I think this should cover it. This is pretty good wages for around here. I'm from a place like this.
How much did you give her?
I just pulled out a gold.
1 gold.
Yeah.
She says, I mean, sure, this gold's nice for now, but, I mean, I don't know if you know this, but the cost of living in Yarta is continually going up. There's inflation all over the place.
I would
And
look
it smiles at you again and keeps the hand open.
back. Ludwig would look back at at Sengar. Are you paying attention to this, or are you doing something else right now?
No, I'm paying attention.
No, I meant as your character, rather, not like you.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely he's turning every once in a while, watching a
Mhm.
pretty skirt walk by. But
Mhm.
other than that, yeah, he's paying attention in case something goes sideways and he needs to hit somebody.
He'd look back and make a face like he's conferring with you, but he doesn't ask you anything, as if you're supposed to just already know somehow. And then he'll turn back to this lady and he'll say, "I think my friend there over there has found somebody else who maybe will do this for what we're asking. That's fine though. Thank you for trying to help at least."
All right, then. She closes her hand around the gold that you gave her and puts it in between.
As she says that, Sangar is just gonna kind of seeing something he really likes. How's it going, beautiful? Think I can get a drink? And start following another
Sure.
waitress.
The other waitress?
Yeah.
So you go to the other waitress. She's probably about 5 or 10 years older than Olo is. Been here a little bit longer. Sort of says, "Hi, big fella. What can I do for you?"
You got a bit of a sauce to you. I like that. Looking for a round of ale. Also, out of
Sure.
curiosity, looking for a specific gentleman. He looks like my friend here. Twin brothers, or so I've been told.
Twins, eh?
Looking for his long lost brother.
No, don't know him. Gotta try the Thieves Guild, though.
Oh, Thieves Guild. I have heard they run rampant around here. Any insight
Done
onto
everything around here.
good to know. Any chance you know of anyone in a particular guild brought a gentleman around with a beautiful sword from Silvery Moon area?
It's awfully specific, but like I said,
It
I'm not saying.
it is, but you see, when somebody asks obviously specific questions, they tend to tip really well on their drinks.
Well, I'll not lie to you. I don't know the man. Like I said, maybe you could find someone in the Thieves Guild to act.
And
She kind of puts her hand up like this.
you are saucy. Fair enough. Well, and I'll go into my coin purse. And I'll pay her 5 gold.
Takes it, looks at it. There's one right behind you. Walks away.
She just pointed to the other waitress.
No, she pointed to the woman who made the face.
Ludwig would approach after this happened and he'd say, "Hey, did you get robbed too?"
No, actually. How close are you to me, Jordan?
Well, what I was going to say was, while all of this was going on, at some point, Jordan would have actually tried to sit down at the table with the woman, but he
Oh,
wouldn't.
there you go.
But he wouldn't say anything.
He has the riz.
Ludwig
So-
and Sangar are like looking at women and trying to find info. Meanwhile, Jordan's just gone right to where we should have been.
So, Jordan, as you sit down, she sort of leans back on a chair and it gives you a pretty harsh look. Says, "What do you think you're doing?"
He will shrug.
She leans forward, almost threateningly, and says, "Listen, I know you're not from around here. Down here, fellas look like you ain't shit. Down here, we're in charge. So, I don't know what you think you're going to accomplish. Please, for fuck's sake, don't say anything nice about me. 'Cause I ain't here to hear that shit. Why don't you just take your broad chest and your broad shoulders and walk your ass right somewhere else?"
He's gonna lean forward and put his elbows on the table and make very intense eye contact with her.
Saucy Furbolg!
She kind of laughs, and eventually she just sort of reaches up, snaps her fingers, and kind of points at you. From other places in the bar, 5 women, 3 of them very, very, very strong looking, all walk right, and they're all standing right behind you.
Before they can close in, would this be about the time that me and Ludwig realized what was happening?
I would say you realize and you turn at the exact moment that the women are closing in. All at that exact moment.
Sangar is
Plenty of-
gonna go ahead.
I was gonna say, Plent, have you done anything interesting while this is going on?
Oh yes.
Because we're in a bar. He loves bars.
I would say Plant is just getting intoxicated. To,
All
right.
to a,
Into the bar, drinking away.
Please multi-class into monk so we can have drunken dwarf style.
he's basically just waiting for someone to tell him to heal something or fight something, essentially.
I feel like the relationship between the two, if you accept this, between Sangar and Twent, I feel like there'd be a whistle.
Yeah, I mean, Plant probably knows by this point. He's just waiting for like a go ahead from Sengar kind of thing, or like if Sengar goes, then Plant will go.
Waiting for us to get ourselves into the shit yet again. Sangar is going to puff out his chest a bit, start walking over, and literally whoever the biggest bitch is out of the 3, he is going to go shoulder to shoulder with her, arms crossed, standing, looking at Jordan, who is now looking like Harthel. And I am going to go shoulder to shoulder with her. I'm going to look over in Point's direction. I'm going to give him the whistle. And I'm just going to stand strong.
Woman looks at you, sort of looks you up and down, smirks, her attention back to Arthel / Jordan.
I'm going to lean in at the smirk over Harthel's shoulder. I'm going to kind of perch my forearm a little bit on kind of the nape of the neck, cross his shoulders. And I'm going to kind of look around a little bit. And I'm just going to say, all right, we have their attention.
Have I
Go
noticed
ahead.
these 5 women?
Oh yeah, I mean they're like, I would say 2 or 3 of them are actually like their bodies are touching the back of your chair, like they're close.
I will lean forward just the tiniest bit more to whoever the woman is across the way, and I'll say, more of a one-woman man myself.
Not going to be a man much longer if you don't get up from my table.
Ludwig would approach, and he would prestidigitation his hands to be a bright color, trying to reach over the very big, tall women, and he'd say, "Think we have a misunderstanding here? Can we talk about this?"
Flint will kind of approach, drunkenly, just kind of laughing. He'll kind of walk up beside Sengar and give him a slap on the back, and he'll say, "An ale for my friends." And he will also cast Bless at the same time as he slaps Sengar.
As you slap, I'm just gonna kind of like lurch for a little bit. Remember your height. That's my ass.
Oi,
So-
seen nicer.
Gordon will drop disguise self.
She leans back and looks at you up and down again, and she says, "Well, now you've piqued my interest." Snaps again. 5 women sort of fall back. The one you were shoulder to shoulder with you kind of leans up to your ear, Dordan, and says, "Find me later if you're bored." Off she goes. They all kind
You
of
mean
just go back to
Sangar,
their...
right?
To Dordan or Sangar?
Yes, Sangar. I'm sorry. I meant Sangar. I apologize.
No, it's good.
Sangar.
Sangar is
And,
just gonna kind of cock an
So they
eyebrow
all
and
kind of, yeah,
Did
they all kind
did
of to their respective tables.
did Ludwig see that?
I feel like you would have definitely seen her lean up and whisper some.
Ludwig is
You
going
would have seen
to
Sangar's reaction to.
Ludwig is going to point up towards Sengar's hair and prestidigitation like a little bit of his hair like stands up a little better now. It's cleaner now.
so Sangar has long hair that he normally keeps
Mhm.
just kind of
Yeah.
untamed. So I feel like with that,
Just
it just kind of like
comes
cleans
undone.
up a little bit. Well, no, he doesn't like keep it in a ponytail or anything. But I feel
Okay.
like it just like instead of like the greasy warrior hair, it just kind of cleans up a bit.
Fabio hair.
Yeah. He's just gonna kind of give like a little bit of a side head nod, and if you're lucky.
Ludwig will approach the table, making his hands normal again, and say, "Sorry, that was just one of our many strategies we cook up to try and figure out what's going on here. We need some help. Why don't, Dordan, you were the first one to start here. Why don't you start?"
Raise her eyebrows at you.
I do apologize for the deception. It was not meant to be rude. But we're looking for the man that I looked like. And we were hoping and were informed that this might be the place to start looking.
Back in the chair, kind of puts one arm over the back. No. I could find out for you. You got a name?
Jordan, Tigefell.
No, not you. The man you're looking for.
Oh, I'm not going to remember it because I don't remember it.
Ludwig would take the quill out of his forehead
Harthel?
again.
Harthel?
Harthel's I'm
That's it.
Harthel! Oh my
I'm
god, I
Morgan.
did remember.
That's it.
As Dordan starts sounding it out, he'll like start writing it and then stop whenever he stops, and then continue writing it as he's sounding it out, basically. And he'll write it on the table so that she can see.
All right then. Standard rate for finding someone is 500 gold up front.
Do you take jobs? In trade.
Perhaps we could trade in kind.
Leans back. generally handle jobs ourselves. Unless, of course, you'd like to do a bit of loan sharking for me. I can always think of someone who owes us money, who hasn't both hands, for example. I got to say, I get the impression that you boys are a bit above that sort.
I'm
I
gonna,
don't think I have any jobs that you would take.
I'm gonna crack my knuckles behind Dorden. If you do it right, you don't need to break anything.
He says,
You just cut out.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
cut out, sorry.
Silent film. Still silent film queue.
Oh, I think your headset might have died.
Oh, your headset's out. Are you faking right now? Are you faking?
No, absolutely not.
Oh, wait, you can see him?
Yeah. I can see you too.
I think last time we played, you didn't have the ability to see us.
Maybe, yeah.
There we go. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Great. Okay. My headset just died.
That's what I figured.
We can
Says, I don't give a fuck about the money. It's not the money that I care about. All I care about is having a one-handed man walking around as a symbol that you don't fuck with me.
Do you also take shit in their pants? Soiled trousers or brown panting is also adequate, I feel.
Says, no, it doesn't work. All he's got to do is wash up. I need something
Um,
a bit more permanent.
Ludwig will lean down to, I guess, Dorden first, because that's probably who he's closest to, and he'll just say, "Yeah, I'm not willing to maim anyone for this, no matter what. That's not going to happen."
Nor I.
Then he'll look back at her and give like a little like a nervous like haha like grin, and then he'll walk over to Sengar and like motion him to lean down a little bit, and he'll whisper the same thing. Just say, I'm not gonna maim anyone for this. We can figure out another way."
Yeah, no, not hurting anyone that's innocent. And I'll stand up tall again.
Sort of leans back again and she says, big adventure is long. You must have 500 gold.
I can offer something in trade.
Is this something you're offering worth 500 gold?
Pretty damn close.
All right, I'm listening.
If no one's gonna stop me, I'm going to reach into my bag and start pulling out my last potion of fire giant strength. I'll set it in the middle of the
I will
table.
probably start laughing.
I'll set it in the middle of the table. I'm a big fucking guy. Imagine what a big fucking guy like me can do with a potion like that. So imagine what somebody small, quick, and shifty. Oh, I'm gonna kind of look a little bit to the side at Ludwig, like, did I do good? Was that the right word? And I'll carry on. Imagine what somebody of that stature and speed could do with the with a strength better than mine.
Question for you, real quick, Q. I have a potion of poison. How much is that? I'm sure that's probably harder to come by because poisons are illegal.
And more their appetite.
I also had a question. No, and I'm sorry. I know you're looking stuff up.
You're fine. It's okay.
Put it on the stack.
She talked about finding this guy, but both I and Sangar had the clear impression that she recognized him, right?
Yep.
Use that wisdom. Sangar's dumb.
Sure did.
While others are debating, Dordan will lean forward even more, and I would imagine that at this point the table creaks slightly. You see, I could have sworn I saw a little twinkle of recognition when you saw me walk in earlier. I don't think you'll have to try 500 gold's worth to find this fella.
Looks down. Sighs almost as though she's disappointed in herself for giving that away. Okay. $250.
If it was still something you were looking up, for my game, I have a table of like potion prices that are there's like a big thing that somebody's done where they're like the reasonable potion prices or magic item prices or whatever.
Yeah.
Potion of poison is 100 gold usually.
Yeah. And I looked up the fire giant, and the fire giant potion is 150. I recall.
I've been overpaying like a motherfucker.
Yeah, we've been paying a lot for
You
that.
asshole.
Blind
Luckily,
man.
you're my favorite of them.
It's because it's telling me a potion of hill giant strength is 500 GP, and that is at least on my table. Like my table isn't like
Then fire
low.
giant should be worth more than that, because fire giants are stronger than hill giants.
We were also paying half price essentially because we were bringing fingernails, right?
And I
don't
think
remember.
I think we were paying 200 or 250.
Oh, okay.
See, now I literally just typed. I put one different word into Google, and now it says 600.
Mm.
I guess you got. I guess I should learn that I got to look at 3 or 4 sources and come to a
No, it's all good.
My immersion is ruined.
I have had
Okay,
my butt bitten quite a few times as a DM because of that.
So
if nobody is stopping him, Dordan, she offered 250.
Mm.
Dordan will say 200 for your rudeness.
Oh no, if Dorn's making a fucking power move, Sangar's like stopped in his tracks, like
Jordan, make an intimidation check for me.
17.
Huge.
Says, to be honest, pretty fucking rude to sit down at someone's table. But a deal's a deal. 200 it is. I'll tell you exactly where to fucking find him.
Dordan will lay out the 200. If people want to pay me back later, that's fine.
As he's doing so, can I insight that? How she said, I'll tell you where to fucking find him.
Sure.
God, Sangar's dice is rolling like hot shit. And I know what that's like. And anything you're thinking of right now, I can tell you the true story's worse. Yeah, insights +1. 5!
She's hard to read.
Bitch is loco.
Ludwig would say, well, so I'm sure you likely know where he is now, right? Or at least have an approximation. Okay. And then he'd lean down and whisper to Dordan, I guess, and say, "So, you think maybe we should ask her before you hand over the gold? Because I just got robbed at least. With this exact situation, basically."
Dordan is counting it out on the table. He hasn't handed it over yet.
The question still stands.
She sort of leans forward. She sort of moves her hands toward your hands, almost as though like we got to do it at exactly the same time, kind of deal.
Fuck you.
Don't trust you either. She says, "How about you give me 100? I'll tell you, and you give me the other one." Been fucked
One of
over
us-
by guys like you before.
One of us is proven to be honest in this conversation.
Who, you? The one who sat down in a fucking disguise?
And then revealed it.
He's got a point, man.
I will slide 50 over to her.
Arthur's eye Morven's a fucking murderer. That's where he is. Prison's underneath the city. Been there for years.
Yeah, good deal.
Insight on he's a fucking murderer on the premise of was he framed?
Sure.
Also, the fuck you was I thought you were making reference to last Sunday as a certain shopkeeper held hands with a certain wizard as he
No.
did his name. I thought,
No.
oh, 18! I rolled a 17!
Sounds like she's telling. You think she's telling the truth,
I was hoping he was set up. Fuck!
and you think that she thinks the guy's a piece of shit, and she's glad he's in jail.
This got
Okay,
harder.
I'm. What was the agreement that we had?
Uh,
That
The
she would
agreement-
get him for us?
Tell
I
us
think
where she is.
the
Where he
agreement-
is.
I believe the agreement was she would give you his location,
Okay,
which she has just done.
all right. I push the other 150 over.
She stacks it up, counts it almost like you did, Dordan. Sure, it's all there. She just sort of tucks her hand behind her back, and when she comes out, or brings her hand out, the gold's gone. This. Hope you do have a bit more gold. You definitely want to grease the jailers. 200 is not necessary, but I'll figure 5-10 gold a pop. A couple of times. You can get a face to face with him anytime you like.
We also we're not technically looking for her, but we were aware that he came here with a woman, his wife perhaps, who may have had connections to some kind of seediness here. You got anything on that?
Yeah, that's who he murdered.
Ah. Well. That did in fact solve a problem for us, despite the unfortunateness of it.
Well, I'm fucking glad of that.
Sangar's gonna crouch down, so that way it's like he's sitting, but he's still taller than them. Except for Dordan. Dordan's the only one that matches him in size closely. Dordan's what, 7 foot?
7'4".
7'4". We are tall bastards.
We are.
He's
We
gonna
are.
kind of crouch down, a little bit shorter than Dordan, and he's gonna get a little guttural and lean in a little bit. We originally came here on premise of a sword. One stolen from his father, brought here on the whim of his murdered wife. You know anything of that? Very fine weapon. I'm sure a group of thieves would be interested.
Sort of looks around and she says, "Yeah, I know where this sword is. I know exactly who has it."
Is that person someone that wouldn't be considered innocent? A lot of blood on their hands.
Kind of smiles and she says, "Yeah, he's a fucker, all right."
Sangirl, stand back up. Straighten up. Good to know.
She leans back. She says, "Honestly, he's such a fucker. I'll give you this one for free."
I was gonna let one of the boys go for it, but hell, I'll take it.
She says, "Now, who would you imagine when someone goes to jail? Who would you imagine takes that sword and keeps it?"
Sanger's gonna slam his hand on the table. His fucking dad still has it.
She kind of rubs her temples a little bit, like, "No. The people who put him in jail have it. The bloody police have it. The bloody guards have it."
Would you
God
say
will-
the guards are easy to manipulate into bad things?
She says, "I don't think you have to manipulate them. I'd say bad things are what most of them are about, at least here. You know, I'm a thief. Even though I have a fucking code. The fellow you're looking for is Watch Captain Olzar Brenner.
Key spell, sir?
Olzar, Tholzar. Brenner, Brenner. Says,
I'm just looking at Dorton at this point.
Is he a bad person?
corrupt as shit. There's a lot of bad ones around here, but he's probably worst of all.
Well, I guess we have a couple headings, fellas.
That we do. I know you won't take this in the spirit it's intended, ma'am, but thank you.
All right then.
What was your name?
Totally irrelevant, that.
Okay.
Would you believe I told you?
Well, maybe. But really, I just need a way to get a hold of you if we needed to see you again. You know, you seem like you have lots of pertinent information. You know, how do you get, you know, more business, if you will, if we can't get a hold of you?
If I'm being honest, cornered by three very large men and an obvious wizard. It's not made me terribly comfortable. I'd say our business is concluded. It's all the same to you. She puts her hands on the table and she stands up. Even standing up, she's probably a head short. She's a head shorter than Ludwig. She's not. She's tiny. She kind of, So she's when she stands up, she's looking Dordan in the eye, who's sitting.
If I may be so bold on behalf of my friend Ludwig here, and I'm going to reach back to my other shoulder and lightly curl my fingers around the hilt of my greatsword and slowly draw it and lay it on the table in a very, careful manner. I offer you my first sword as a contract or a binding that we mean you no harm, and if you are truly innocent in a situation where you are trying to do something good, you have our muscle, we'll back you. You have my muscle, I don't speak for everyone. You will have my muscle to back you.
Reaches down, picks up the sword, kind of. Sword.
Got me through a lot.
She kind of lifts it with surprising strength. Slings it over her back. She's obviously got something back there to strap it on it, so it now sits over her shoulder. She says, "Well, gentlemen, good luck to you. Don't go easy on that Captain Brenner. Whatever you do to him, I promise you he's got it coming." She starts to walk, and if you don't stop her, she exits the bar.
Ludwig will turn to the rest of the group and say, I think we'll be the judge of that.
Agreed. I was
All right.
hoping to get a
And-
name for
yeah.
that damn sword, but damn.